So it seems as though we cannot go more than a few episodes without a set of series-altering events. More often than not, of course, those end up being trades, and the last episode was no different. A highly successful draft for us on paper was completely overshadowed by the reacquisition of two players that we traded away 1 year ago. Andrei Vasilevskiy and Elijah Lackey are back on this team. With Vasilevskiy, it's more of a safety net in case Gervais Chouinard still is not capable of being the guy to lead us to success. And for Elijah Lackey, our hand was forced due to Tate Dwyer not being all that okay with being a second liner. That said, that has put the pressure on this team. Those moves have put the pressure on this team to win. Anything shy of a Stanley Cup is going to be viewed as a disappointment. Anything shy of making it to the final is going to be viewed as an outright failure. I don't know if there's ever been more pressure on one of my teams to win, one of our teams to win. Damn it, it's 3.5 years we're in this together. I don't know if there's ever been more pressure on one individual team to win a Stanley Cup. Maybe outside of Hartford, where we said, okay, this is it, final season, let's go. And of course, if you haven't seen how that worked out, feel free to check out the Hartford series. There's a lot of playlists on the channel. You should check out everything. Can you believe, by the way, I was talking about this on Twitch the other night because someone asked, like, oh, what was your most successful Draft to Glory series? Of course, this is not, the Golden Seals is. Something like the original Draft to Glory was on NHL 17. But we've been here for a while now, haven't we? 3.5 years of doing this. So, well, no, not quite. Not quite. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. It's kind of crazy. That said, let me get to a couple of your comments before we continue on with the madness known as this series. The fans voted John Scott to an All-Star game, and you think we can still be trusted. As Micah pointed out, that did turn out to be a good thing. And I'm not saying that, oh, you guys screwed up, because I still think, in terms of the polls that we had, I still think Gervais Chouinard could be the guy for us. And had Tate Dwyer's morale not dropped, I wouldn't have traded him. That's the only reason that I did. You combine that with the fact that people were calling for, maybe get Lackey back. It was just kind of a perfect storm. I don't like going back on a vote that quickly, but it did make sense in this occasion. Puck Nerd, I am well aware of me not estimating things the right way. There was a lot of pressure in that draft, okay? Yeah, last episode was a crazy episode. There was a lot going on. I know. Like I said, 9 out of 10 draft maybe. Could have been a perfect draft had we gotten McBride. Didn't happen, though, unfortunately. So, as was pointed out, we did indeed done goof. Nathan, I will point this out. As far as what series I'm doing next, I don't know. I get asked that all the time. Like, oh, like the next Draft to Glory or Nations United, like, what are you doing next? Or, when you do Nations United or Draft to Glory, what's it going to be next? I don't know. I don't know. We will figure it out. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I am quite sure. I still fall asleep to your voice every night. That's not weird. The phrasing of it. But good for you, Carter. Whatever makes you happy. Bradford's the perfect pick because he'll be ready to be back up when Vasi leaves. I hope so. Possibly. I think he may have had one of the best drafts I've ever seen, unless you consider the Goon Squad pick of life. Yeah, Dan, fair point. Like, in NHL 19, we've had some really strong drafts. But still, in terms of, like, my favorite draft, or, like, if we were to vote on, like, okay, what was the best draft we ever had, it might be that one Goon Squad draft where we got one Frederick McDonough. And again, if you do not know what that is, I believe you could search Toogie best draft pick ever, or just watch the Goon Squad series, and you will be in for one hell of a surprise. So there is that. Check in on Reitz after the preseason. I don't remember where the hell I traded him. Let me double check. I mean, it was to Pittsburgh or Montreal, right? Yeah, so I'll check. But here's the thing. Unless he goes from a mid-60 to an 80, it wasn't worth keeping him anyway. So there was that. I really hate when you say he's never going to develop. Every single medium elite player develops into an NHLer with time. That is incorrect. Not everyone. A lot of them do. However, in terms of never going to develop, maybe I should phrase it to, he's not the right player for us because he's not going to develop when we need him to, how we need him to, whatever. But I get the point. Good call on Ollie. Wouldn't have checked him. I mean, we got lucky with that. Just flat out. Out of all those picks, I was thinking back to the draft. I'm like, Jesus. At least we had that Ollie pick because it made missing out on McBride a little bit better. Is there a way to do exhibition games between Vegas and California? No, unless I were to add or create every single player, and I'm not going to do that because I've already created enough players off of just the roster editing itself. So, no, there is not. Unfortunately. That said, let's get down to business. First step here is to double check how much cap space we have. It's not going to be much. It is roughly $2 million. Roughly $2 million cap space. So, again, whoever's on the free agent list, I mean, we know who's on the free agent list, I think. Did I check the... Yeah, I did. I checked it in this, didn't I? Regardless, there's the free agent list. We can't afford to get anybody, but we do have 10 contract spots open, which means we are absolutely going to look for some prospects. Now, there is Hull, but I don't think it's not worth it for us to sign him. Is there anybody else, though? Amongst the defensemen, a low elite D'Amour. Right, he's a 55, Antoine D'Amour. He's a 55 at 19 years old, low elite. I don't know if he's going to develop. He probably won't. Just saying, although Paulie would certainly disagree. I'm still going to throw an offer his way. We might as well. And then forward-wise, is there... Oh, my goodness. Koivunen. Well, he's 25. We have Rankin. Oh, my God. Volchenkov and Forsstrom. Yes, please. Let's not waste any time. We'll just throw our name into the hat on this discussion, and we'll see whether or not we get lucky in signing these prospects. Let's do that. And in terms of medium top sixes, there isn't anybody. So we have sent out 4 offers to a couple of undrafted players. We'll see if they accept, and then we're getting straight into setting up this team. D'Amour has signed Forsstrom, Volchenkov, and Rankin. We ended up getting all 4 of them. No other AI team either put in a bid or they chose us over them, which, to be honest, is probably the right choice on their part, because you look at our organization as a whole, the prospects that we already have, they're only, I mean, granted, well, if you think about it, it actually might not be the right move for them, because, you got a lot of competition as opposed to going to another team. You have a whole lot of competition. But regardless, they have signed, and as we've talked about before, there is the discussion of should Fog of War be on or off. I feel like it's beneficial to have it on at some points. And when talking about free agency, if Fog of War was on, I wouldn't be able to see who the top guys are, but the AI still would be able to, which is just a tad bit cheap. So I'd have to sit there and be like, okay, well, every 19 and 20-year-old who didn't get drafted, let's just sign them and hope for the best. Even though we'd have some information on them if we looked at them in the draft, as long as we scouted them. It's a weird situation. That's all I'm saying. Regardless, let's see what happens here.
A few moments later.
So I was going to try to keep everything live. There is no way that was going to happen with how much had to change with this team just from the beginning of the preseason, but everything is set up. The roster's good to go, and that does mean on the bright side we'll be able to sim more of the season as opposed to me showing you everything with the setup. So the good thing, the first thing to note, is that we didn't have to get rid of anybody. There were no trades made. We are set up. Now, there are some players who would probably benefit from AHL time, and I'll show you them first, that aren't signed at the moment. But I don't think it's that big of a detriment. I mean, we do have some players here, and I want your opinion on this because, of course, this has been a continuous theme with my series. Guys like McIver and Nieminen that we're never going to sign. Fair to trade them to get draft picks back, or is that a bridge too far? We just wait for their deals, for the rights to expire, and we just let them go. Let me know what you think. But we do have some guys who might benefit from being signed that we haven't. But aside from that, I mean, my God, as we expected, this roster is stacked and the pressure is on to win. Let's take a look at your Vegas Golden Knights, your 2026-27 Golden Knights. Top line of Marvin Mason. 93 overall, of course. Still have him set up as a power forward. He's a real interesting one where playmaker, sniper, two-way, power forward, whatever we need him to do, he could do it. But if we talk about maybe trying to keep a balance of playmaker, sniper, and then either two-way or power forward, it makes sense to have him as a power forward. Cody Glass, I've had set up as a two-way for a couple of seasons now, but with that offensive awareness the way it is, I'm going to try him at a playmaker instead, just to see if we can tap back into the 94-point version of Cody Glass, as opposed to the apparently bad 79 version. I know. And of course, Russell Clausen, who 99 accuracy on both of his shots. Pretty sure he's going to be a sniper for us. Pretty goddamn sure. So that top line's ridiculous. Again, there's ways to change up Glass and Mason if we have to. Second line, we do have Josh Fotinos, and I gotta admit, it's weird having him with Goldobin and Lackey as opposed to Tate Dwyer, but Josh Fotinos is here. We do have him set up as a sniper as well for obvious reasons. Two-way could also work. Now, we don't have as much of a balance here. It is sniper, playmaker with Goldobin, although, again, playmaker or two-way, he'd be perfect. And Elijah Lackey has to be a sniper as well because, yeah, we have two players with 99 accuracy. So that is ridiculous for obvious reasons. The combo of Lackey and Clausen, I mean, we should have the best power play in the league. It's indisputable. We should have the best power play in the league. The bottom six is where it gets interesting because we had a lot of players to sort through, but I feel like this is going to give us the best opportunity to win. On the left-hand side now, we have Curtis Leddy, 21, low elite. We have him set up as a playmaker for obvious reasons, that high offensive awareness. He could work as a two-way, though, as well. But his center is Maxim Fedorov, who is a sniper, 95 offensive awareness with 91 accuracies, the 82 overall, now 25 years old. And Zachariah Rizzi is going to be a two-way. He could, I mean, in fairness, not the best two-way, but that's my way of trying to create some sort of balance. Ideally, he'd be a sniper, although that offensive awareness is a little bit low. So you see what I mean? It's the debate over just having someone set up as their best player type, or do we put stock into having a bit of a balance, much like certain other, highly contested, debatable subjects. That's another one where how much does line balance really matter? Of course, this isn't NHL 04, where you used to get attribute boosts if you actually had proper balance. The fourth line, new addition, Jesper Lindgren, the 21-year-old, a sixth-round pick of ours in 2024. Shaping up to have a pretty good season, at least if these attributes are any indication. He's currently set up as a power forward, playmaker, two-way, would also work. His center is Dominic Verbata, who had a phenomenal season last year. He's set up as a two-way. Again, high offensive awareness, the defensive abilities, the physicality, and Hudson Bembridge has finally made this roster another guy with ridiculous shooting accuracy. We should be top of the board in terms of power play, goals for. This should be a ridiculous season. Now, in fairness, the reason I have it set up, depth forward, fourth line, third line, third line, third line. So you see how we set it up that way. Defensively, again, our top pairing is set. Ivan Provorov still is an offensive defenseman, could be a two-way with Rositas. Similar thing, two-way, could run defensive defenseman, but yeah, Rositas not quite a top two defenseman yet, but I mean, come on, he's going to be. Second pairing is Vyacheslav Bobrovsky with Taylor Gertzen. Third pairing, Isaiah Norton with Olli Hatanen. So indeed, Norton does have power play time. I mean, this is our power play. It's kind of ridiculous, don't you think? Don't you think? It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty sweet. Now, the big thing to note about this team, aside from the healthy scratches where we do have longtime member Robertson and Josh Mahora, who we signed, both goaltenders are 88 overall, and by default, if we use best lines, it puts MGC as the top goaltender, which is what we wanted. We want him to be the man. If he falters, though, Vassie's there. So that is the point. 288 overall goalies. If we don't win the cup, man, we have to. That is the bar that has been set. Down in the AHL, again, I didn't get rid of anybody, so we have some faces like Kirill Datsuk. Our number 3 overall pick, Jeremy Dykhuis, is there. I think it's still Dykhuis. It could be Dykhuis. But Jeremy D, call him JD. He will be centering that top line alongside, again, former NHLer Derek Staios. Second line, we do have Vyacheslav Bykov, who was a second-round pick of ours, a 71 overall at 19 years old, with Ulf Nilstorp and Vitaly Novikov. Third line, another young guy worth keeping an eye on, Maddox Holt, who has ridiculous shooting accuracy as well, with Brendan Dubinsky, a medium elite at 20 years old, former third-round pick, and Sven Forsström, easy for me to say, the 19-year-old low elite who was undrafted. So there's that. Fourth line, we have Volchenkov, a low elite, another undrafted player. What the hell's going on? That's glitching out. That's really weird. Griffin Pajot, medium elite, former third-round pick. We have done damage in the third-round pick throughout the course, or in the third round of a draft throughout the course of this series. You also have Landon Strong. Defensively, Pedro Toms, not much stock there, but I mean 22 low elite. He could develop with Torsten Lindberg. You also have Toby McChesney, 24 at this point, Frederick Schustrom, Chance Crabbe, who we just signed, and Justin Butler. So in terms of promising defensemen, they're not quite at the AHL level thus far. Keegan Coburn is with Andrew Whitaker. Of course, we have one Bradford as the backup. So there is that. Those are your two teams, your Vegas Golden Knights and your Chicago Wolves. We are good to begin a new season, although before we do, by popular request, I'm going to show you guys the two goalies that we gave up. Dirksen in Pittsburgh, an 86 overall, making $6.6 million. I mean, he's making more than what we have Vasi for right now, so that is hilarious. And in Montreal, you have Reitz up to a 68, so he's still 12 overall points away from being NHL caliber. I don't regret trading him at all. By the time he hits 23, that trade value is going to plummet more than likely. So I feel like everything worked out. I've already talked about it 1,000 times as far as would I have made the moves the way I made them had we not faltered in the playoffs as hard as we did and had Tate Dwyer not regressed. Probably not, but the moves were made. The team is set. Let a new season begin. Let's see how this goes. I want to sim to the middle, if not slightly towards the end of November. And we'll take a look at the team from there. A 9-4 victory. My God. I know it's preseason, but we've scored 15 goals in 2 games. It's ridiculous. And then we get fairly well shut down by Edmonton. I'm excited for this team, but my God, you wouldn't think that I'd be as anxious and nervous for this season when the squad's looking as strong as they are. It should be nothing but confidence, like, yeah, we're going to storm the league. No. No abundance of confidence right now. It's a whole lot of anxiety, nervous for how this team is going to perform under pressure, nervous for if we have an underperforming player, how are we going to handle that? Is it a line combination that we change up, which ideally we wouldn't have to touch the line combos, maybe outside of putting Elijah Lackey on the top line, but that would also be a sign of things going wrong. That said, just want to throw it out there. We dropped Cody Glass to the second line, bump Elijah Lackey up to the first line, and that's the best first line I think I've ever had in the history of my channel in terms of overalls. So it's just all the different combinations, line combos, player types, everything about this season, about this team, and knowing that it's just wait and see. Player morale, what do we got? It's Russell. Big Russ. All 5'11 of them. Best locker room chemistry with Goldobin, by the way. Performances like these are just the norm, Russell. You are the man. Good work, Russell. Good work. All right, we're moving on. Playing Vancouver, a long-time rival. We get that win as well. I'm going to try not to pay too much attention to the results because the second we do, right now we're going to lose this game against Ottawa because I even started mentioning it. See? I told you. It's a curse. So let's get back to ranting and rambling about absolutely nothing. Oh, God, I looked at the schedule. Come on. Don't do this to me. Thank you. I mean, like I said, it's stressful. It's stressful. I'm excited, though. Jeremy Dykhuis goes down to injury. He'll be out for a little bit of time. The Wolves aren't exactly killing it. I'm not sure if I expected them to. Their offense is very well stacked. The defense, obviously that third pairing with the lower end guys, the 262 overalls, I expect them to struggle. The goaltending, though, should do fairly well. I had the option of keeping guys like Steos and Datsuk or sending them out, bringing in some of those fringe players, but unfortunately a lot of the guys that we could sign are much lower level. So it was probably better, like if you're talking like a 62, 63 overall, it's probably better to just leave them unsigned. Some of the higher rated guys were Canadian, so we're not able to sign them and put them down in the AHL as of this moment. I do want to take a look though. Coburn, Andrew Whitaker, only one appearance, but that has been rough. We will look at the NHL stats in just over a week. The 22nd of the month will be our first look at this squad, and hopefully we like what we see. That's all I'm gonna say as far as that is concerned. And the worst part is, the better we do in the regular season, the more pressure is on this team to keep it up in the playoffs. So that's good. Middle of November, 20 wins, 3 losses, 1 OTL. Holy hell, this team is living up to expectation. We are on 41 points already. I think Cody Glass likes being a playmaker. Just gonna throw that out there. Holy hell, let's look at these numbers, shall we? Mason, 28 points in 24 games. Glass, we already know, on 32 points. Clausen, 15 and 15 in 24 games. Oh my god. Second line, Fotinos is doing very well, just under a point a game. You have Goldobin on 18 points and 25 points for Elijah Lackey. So how many players? We have 4 players out of the top 6 who are already over 10 goals. It's insane. Third line, Letty on 10 points. Considering how top-heavy of a team we are, that's a very good total. Same for Fedorov, 13 points. That's tremendous. Only 6 points for Rizzi, which is perhaps a bit disappointing. Again, he's the type that we could change over to a sniper, but I'm not upset. 7 points for Lindgren. You have 12 for Verbata and 8 for Bembridge. I'm not complaining at all. Defensively, Provorov, 20 points in 24 games. 5 for Rositas. 13 points for Bobrovsky, 10 for Gertson, 6 for Isaiah Norton, and 7 for Olli Hutanen. The goaltending, Vasilevsky has played the majority of the games. He has a .940 save percentage. Oh my god. So it started off with Gervais Chouinard, who still has a couple of appearances, but yeah. Right now, Vasi is winning that race in terms of being the guy for us. And that's the thing, man. If we win this season, Vasi's gone. If we lose this season, Vasi's probably gone and Gervais Chouinard takes over. Again, because there's a 9-year age difference between the two. But right now, Andrei Vasilevsky, clearly excited to be back in Vegas. He wants another one. That's what he wants. I think we know what Andrei Vasilevsky wants. He wants to win. And he is doing a whole hell of a lot of that right now. We'll march on. We'll continue forward. Because why the hell not? I don't know when... Oh, goodness gracious. He's not out for long. But that is the one thing that could really hurt us. Although, not so much. Because now Gervais Chouinard takes over. So, that's the good thing. Goaltending depth to this level. Kind of ridiculous. MGC will be the starter. We'll just call it Bradford, and he can be the backup for now. I'll probably just leave him on the NHL roster because it doesn't really matter. But that's what Bradford's there for, to be the backup in case of injury as we lose 2 straight. Oh boy, once we start celebrating how good we are, we lose 2 straight. We do crush Edmonton though. We put up 14 goals in 2 games on the Oilers, by the way. Kind of ridiculous. As Vasi is back, we'll get him back in as the starter. MGC, not exactly dominating right now. It's a concern, but this is why we brought in the safety blanket known as Andrei Vasilevsky. That is what he is here for, in case Gervais Chouinard, for whatever reason, cannot get his game under control. we have that insurance policy as Pedro Toms down with the Chicago Wolves goes down to injury. Not too concerned there. I do need to double check the draft pick situation as MGC goes down for a short amount of time. Couple of injuries here and there. Still, though, 24 wins on the season. I think once we get to our next stopping point in 3 weeks, January 1st against Anaheim, we'll take a look at the pick situation. As Pedro Toms is back, we'll get him into the lineup. How is Dykhouse doing? He's up to a 79. I made that choice to start him in the AHL. Just to make sure, the NHL was good to go, and hopefully he would dominate the AHL. 14 points in 20 games on a bad team isn't terrible. By the way, we signed veteran Louis Belpedio to be the depth defenseman for the Chicago Wolves. So that is why he was there. That's the one thing I forgot to point out. I pointed out Josh Mahora being the depth defenseman at the NHL level. MGC is back following a loss. And we'll see, has Bradford played? No, Bradford hasn't played once. So, Gervais Chouinard, welcome back. Don't know if you'll be the starter, but you're here for the moment. So we end up losing 2 straight again. I don't think we've lost 3 straight on the season, and we still won't after picking up that win against Columbus, 26-8-1 on the season, make it 27. With our second win over the Islanders in 8 days, we end up losing to Montreal. Tate Dwyer. I wish this was like Madden and like MLB, where I could look at the game stats to see how big of a performance Tate Dwyer had in that game for the Habs. If anything, that makes me sad that he's a Hab. It made me sad that Elijah Lackey was a Hab, but obviously we had trouble trying to find the right team to trade them to. So we will end the year. 2026 comes to a close. We will end the year with a just frankly phenomenal record. Russ wants to talk again. I need to be out on the ice more. You're out on the ice all the time. I'll see the point, Russell. Don't worry. You'll be on the penalty kill now. Fine by me. You're on the top line, the top power play. If that's not enough time for Russell Clausen, then god damn it, you can be out on the kill too. Cody Glass is a freak. We're also 14 points clear of the Vancouver Canucks. Good lord. So let's take a look. If Russell wants to complain about ice time, this has been the... Actually, you know what? Let's go take a look at team stats first. Then we'll get back into looking at everything. But I guess I'm going to be adding Russell Clausen to the penalty kill. Depends, though. How bad has the penalty kill been? We are obviously in first place. 80% kill. 33% on the power play. What even is that? We're first in the league, but only 3 points above the Avalanche, who just continue to be amazing. So, of course, we have competition within the Western Conference. We are averaging 3.93 goals for per game, which is just absurd. Goals against is a 2.45, which is in the bottom 10. So not bad. Not exactly what we would have hoped for. Again, our power play is at an absurd 33%. 91 attempts, 30 goals. That is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Our penalty kill at 80% isn't horrible, but isn't great. So that is certainly something we can look to address, and we will do just that. Cody Glass. Thought he would have been gone. Thought he would have been the one gone. Tate Dwyer stays. Nope. Cody Glass decides to be the man to bring that top line together. So our penalty kill has been Fedorov, Leddy, Verbata, Rizzi for, I'd say, somewhat obvious reasons, but I think we're going to change it up, and we're just going to go with our top players. Let's do it. Let's make sure that everyone's good to go. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to have Lackey and Goldobin as that second unit. And we're just going to run our top players as much as we possibly can in terms of special units. So I think what we're going to do is still have Gertz and Bobrovsky. They're going to be the second unit now. And we're going to bring in Provorov and Rositas as the top PK unit. So there is that strategy, of course, of, after the penalty kill, if your bottom six can survive the kill, you then get your top unit against their bottom six lines. So, basic line matching. No, we're just going to run our top players into the ground. Just let them handle everything. It'll be fine. Here's the thing. Clausen and Lackey are both good enough to play center. So they're going to do that. We're going to have them lead the way. And that way there is no chance of complaints about them not getting a proper amount of ice time. That's all I'm trying to avoid right now. Just no complaints whatsoever. You are out there all the goddamn time. All the time. So that is the plan. Let's actually take a look at some numbers. So Vasi down to a 924. MGC, though, a 900. So the goaltending hasn't been amazing. Vasi's been great. It's been good to great. Over a 920, I'm not complaining, but Gervais Chouinard that I'm so worried about. You have Mason, 22 goals, 25 assists in 42 games. I don't know if he's going to hit 102 points like he did 2 seasons ago, but he's certainly on pace to hit 90 again. He is not the face of this series, which means I think he can be a little bit underrated in that he is already one of the best players I think we've ever had. It's insane. Cody Glass, 14 goals, 41 assists. Again, 55 points. He's been an absolute monster over these past 5 seasons. And then Russell Clausen, your favorite and mine, definitely mine, 53 points in 42 games. On the second line, Josh Fotinos, 16 and 19, good for 35 points in 42 games. He had 45 points in nearly a full season last year. So, think he's going to set a new career high this season. Certainly stepping up to the occasion. Hasn't gotten better than an 85, though. That's certainly concerning. Goldobin is one who's struggled a bit this year. Now, he's not on the top power play unit. Cody Glass is still there. But 34 points in 42 games. I'm not complaining. Struggling for what he's capable of. And Elijah Lackey has 36 points in 42 games. Already has 20 goals. Crazy. Just crazy. Curtis Leddy on 16 points. That third line plus minus wise is brutal. 18 points for Fedorov and 11 for Rizzi. I read that as a 2. I read that as a 4, not even as a 2. I can't speak. I think I'm going to change Rizzi up to a sniper. And then Lindgren, 17 points on the season. Verbata still killing it for some reason. And Bembridge, not too bad as well at 13 points. So I think the only thing I'm going to do is change Rizzi over to a sniper just to try and get that offense going a bit more. Of course, you'll have people say, like, just make your bottom 6 entirely like two-way players to counterbalance. And it might work. It might not. If the plan right now, which it kind of is to just outscore our opponents at every possible turn, we're doing a pretty damn good job of that. So I'm not against it. But that's the thing. When we have our bottom 6 right now, and they are so capable of maybe not outscoring, but our bottom 6 certainly capable of putting up points. I think if you were to play the members of our bottom 6 in like the early stages of a draft to glory and they were our top line, I think they could all hit 50 points. So I have confidence in them. And as far as let's go take a look at the NHL point totals as well. I'm not sure how much more we'll sim in this episode. Maybe the entire season. So Provorov's doing well, 7 points there. Bobrovsky's doing well. Gertson's doing better than I would have expected. No complaints at all. Down in the AHL, and then we did choose Hatainen at 23 years old over Lindbergh at 25. We'll see whether or not that was the right choice. So far, that appears to be the case. Dykhouse is up to an 80, which is great. 20 points in 30 games. Bykov up 2 points already to a 73. You got someone like Holt at a 75. And let's see, Whitaker and Coburn, goaltending struggling a bit, but that's okay. For the Chicago Wolves, it's about player development, not necessarily success. Let's continue for at least a little bit longer. And we'll go to where the All-Star break used to be. And we'll see what happens down the stretch here through January as we kick things off with a 4-3 overtime win against Anaheim for a 32nd win of the season. Norton goes down for a couple of days. It's a little bit of a rough loss. The third liner or third pairing guy, Josh Mahora, will step in directly. So technically, Mahora is going to be on our power play. Of course, he ended up scoring his first career NHL goal against the Bruins earlier in the week, last week. I am terrible at keeping track of time as of late. No trade offers in a while. Yeah, I wonder why. It's because the trade block's set to empty. Fool, because we don't need anything. We are stacked as it is. Mahora, 1 assist and a +4. Good stuff. But Norton is ready to reclaim his spot on that third pairing. We have 4 games left. We are undefeated on the month, knock on wood. And Provorov goes down for a couple of days to a concussion. I have all the faith in the world for Josh Mahora to step in on the first pairing, the power play, and the penalty kill. All the faith in the world. He's got this. Don't worry about it. He'll play the last 3 games. We beat Pittsburgh 6-3. Nashville and St. Louis are up next. Can we hit 40 wins before the invisible All-Star break? Let's find out. Provorov is back. How has Mahora done? 2 points and a +2. Good stuff. I mean, I'm not complaining at all. It's ridiculous. We have so much momentum right now. Can we beat Nashville? Yes, we can. Can we beat the Blues for our 40th win? Can we? Yes, we can. 6-5 in the shootout. We are 49-2 on the season. And I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit afraid to potentially stop the sim because I feel like our momentum is just going to be lost. We are 21 points clear of Vancouver. Unreal. Cody Glass is already on 72. You know what? No, we have to keep going. Let's just go. It's fine. Let's go to the end of the season. I might even start simming the playoffs. I don't know. I'm afraid to stop right now because this team's momentum is so ridiculous. So I'm going to go until we start losing games, if we ever do, and we'll handle it from there. Cody, what's going on, buddy? The extra ice time. You know, yeah, you're great. Oh, don't show me Tate Dwyer, though. Oh, God. Oh, God. I think that's great, buddy. Yeah, that's right. Me and Cody Glass on the same page. That's right. We understand. It's like, yeah, you're right. You are good. I will appeal to the ego of our top line because they are the real deal. God damn it. As we just beat Florida 7-3. Chicago, by the way, I just noticed, up to 26-14-4. The Wolves on a tremendous run as of late. Where did that come from? It looked like they weren't even going to be close to playoff contention, and now they're doing quite well as we just continue to stomp out everybody in the league. We don't have to worry about the trade deadline. There's literally nothing we have to do. We have depth in the AHL as it is. Player morale, what's up? What's going on? Cody Glass. You're damn right. You're damn right. I agree. Things are going very nicely for us. I agree. Where we might hit 50 wins before 10 regulation losses, which is just batshit insane. Probably won't be the case. We'll probably lose to the Leafs, or we'll beat them 8-1. That's fine. What's going to happen first? Are we going to hit 50, or are we going to hit 10 regulation losses? Dallas, can we beat them? They have a pretty good record. Ah, and there's the 10th loss. That's unfortunate. 3-0, by the way. 3-0. Against the Bruins, can we avoid back-to-back losses? Yes, we can. It's a 6-3 victory. Against Chicago, a 5-4 win. We have hit 50 wins. 50, 10, and 2. What is there to say? This is going about as well as we ever could have hoped. We are on pace for one of the best seasons we've ever had in the history of this channel. We have had 60-win teams. Shout out to Rebuilding Hockey Town, who did it on multiple occasions from what I remember. We are on pace for one of the best seasons in channel history, as Maxim Fedorov is going to be out for a couple of days. Jason Robertson will step in for him. We are into March. We start off with a victory over Calgary. This is absolutely insane. Again, this is going about as well as we ever could have hoped. As we'll take a look, how did Robertson do? 2 points in 3 games and a +3. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, man. Just the talent level that we have that can step into this lineup. I mean, hell, even a Robertson or a Mahora. Like, it's ridiculous. The depth that we have right now, and I'm glad we didn't get rid of guys like Datsuk and Staios, Robertson as well. It made all the sense in the world to keep them as we just continue to steamroll the league. We do lose to the Sharks. They deny us our 60th win of the season. Central Scouting, I've wanted to look at that all season. I don't care right now. I don't care. I don't want to think about the draft. This could be our... It's not. I was going to say it could be our first 3-game losing streak of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I don't believe we've ever lost 3 games in a row in this season at any point. It's ridiculous. Bobrovsky, what's up, buddy? Happy with my performances? As you should be, friendo. As you should be. You have been, as has everybody, amazing. 62 wins after beating Dallas. No controversy. No, man, the San Jose Sharks, though, giving us trouble. We just lost to them twice. No controversy. No concerns. No drama. Just winning hockey games. We have 2 games left this season against Los Angeles and against Philadelphia. We can hit, oh my God. It was too good to be true. It was too good to be true. Russell Clausen, down with a fractured jaw, is more than likely going to miss the first. He is going to miss the first round of the playoffs. We end up finishing the season on a 3-game winning streak. Again, I don't believe we lost more than 2 in a row at any point this season, which is just absolutely absurd. I don't think we did 2 there, and then we lost 3 out of 4, but I don't think we ever lost 3 in a row. Yeah, Columbus snapped that streak. Let me know if I'm wrong, but it's a mixed feeling right now, right? Absolutely. We win 66 games this year. The stats we're about to see as a team and for the players, it's going to be ridiculous. But Russell Clausen is out for just under 3 weeks and is going to miss the first round. And if there's anything that could have derailed us after a 134-point season, it was going to be injury. It was just an absolutely ridiculous year. We finished with 15 more wins than anybody else in the league. Just crazy. 134 points. Goals for at a .398. We averaged just under 4 goals a game throughout the entire season. Goals against at a 2.2, the lowest in the league. Just ridiculous. Our power play at 31.6%. Is this the 80s? Best power play. Hold on. Best power play in NHL regular season history. Is that the best? This is ridiculous. Team records. Let's find regular season records. 49-50 to the present. I can't find it. No. Let me know. Let me know. What is the best power play percentage in NHL regular season history? Because I cannot seem to find it. But that's... Oh, wait. No, I got it. I think I got it. According to this, it's 31.88% by the 77-78 Habs. So we finished 0.2% behind the all-time record for best power play. They set that in the goddamn 70s, so I don't care. We have the best power play percentage ever. Oh my god, our penalty kill was at 84.2, the second best kill in the league. What the hell? 9 shorthanded goals because of our offense. Just absolutely ridiculous. That might have been the best regular season I've ever seen in the 3.5 years that we've been making videos on this channel. It's insane. Absolutely insane. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a down note. We can't be as jovial about this as I was just a few moments ago, but we are going to take a look at some stats, and we're going to figure out how to set some things up here with the team. First things first, Russell Clausen finishes this season with an ungodly 105 points in 81 games, so actually lower than the pace he had 2 seasons ago. That is insane. 2-time 100-point scorer for us. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame already. He is in the Hall of Fame already. 4 straight 40-plus goal seasons. A plus 59. 32 points on the power play. 2 shorthanded goals. It's just insane, man. Absolutely insane what he is capable of. But again, we'll be missing him in the playoffs. At least for that first round, can we get over that hurdle of missing Russell Clausen? Now, of course, someone like Josh Mahora did all right. Let's look at the goaltending, because that's the big thing, is who the starter's going to be. Andrei Vasilevsky, 54 appearances, 44 wins, a .927 save percentage with 6 shutouts. Gervais Chouinard, 33 appearances, 26 wins, a .915 save percentage with 6 shutouts. I think we go with Vasilevsky in the playoffs. I think we have to. But Gervais Chouinard maybe not looking as bad as he had in the past. But I do think we go for Vasi in the playoffs. As far as the top line is concerned, Marvin Mason, good lord. Good lord. A new career high, 103 points, 48 goals in consecutive seasons, 3 straight 40-goal seasons, a plus 52, 34 points on the power play. Just what an absolute 100 takeaways, by the way. He's so good defensively. Oh my god. Like, I need to make a separate save file for this point in franchise, and I just want to play a preseason game with this team or something. Marvin Mason, an absolute monster. And we do know that Cody Glass led this team in points. 108 points for Cody Glass, obliterating the 94 mark he had a few seasons ago. Had the same amount of goals, 14 more assists, a plus 65. This top line put up 1980s numbers. It's ridiculous. 33 points on the power play, a shorthanded goal on the year, 3 shorthanded points on the year, 55% on the draw. Cody Glass, ladies and gentlemen, he went from being the guy who, okay, Fotinos, Dwyer, they're going to replace Cody Glass. I don't think so. He played his way onto this team. He has been amazing. Robertson probably won't be on the top line in the playoffs. Just a hunch. That'll be the big decision. Could bump up Lackey, of course. That's the easy choice. We go to the second line, and Josh Fotinos is up to an 87. That is tremendous news. He finishes with 62 points, a new career high, 24 goals. Good job, Josh. Good job. 62 points. In some series, we've been lucky if our top line guys have put up numbers like that. So, a great season. 13 points on the power play for Fotinos. Victor Goldobin does it again, though. 69 points, which I'm good with considering how dominant our top line was. Craziness for him, a plus 39. Of course, those numbers beforehand, as I'm trying to fight off the sneeze, it's not looking too good. Those numbers beforehand, nope, it's going to happen. All right, we're good. We're good. We're fine. Of course, those numbers beforehand, mainly with the power play points, he was on the top unit. And then we have Elijah Lackey in his return, 82 points, 46 goals. So, that's the obvious choice. We just bump up Elijah Lackey and then figure out who plays on that second line. Maybe it's Rizzi, maybe it's Bembridge. Of course, we can look in the AHL to see if there's a better option other than playing Robertson on the fourth line. We go to the third line. Curtis Leddy breaks over 30 points, which is tremendous. That is the goal. 31 on the season, so a new career high in his second year. Centered by Fedorov, who only hit 29, but I'm okay with it. Of course, he was in a slightly reduced role compared to what he had last year. I didn't expect him to match what he hit last year. And Rizzi, 20 points, so that's a little bit lower than what I'd prefer from a third liner, but it's to be expected when we're as top-heavy as we are. 15 goals on the season. The fourth line, though, if that's anything to go off of, gelled much better than that third line. Lindgren, 31 points in his rookie season. Dominic Verbata, 30 points last year, 38 points this year. And Hudson Bembridge, 17 goals, 15 assists, good for 32 points. So that fourth line outplayed the third line. But the argument of, well, we'll bump them up, it's like, why? They're producing at the fourth line level. So the third line's our weakest line. And that's, it's not saying too much, really. Defensively, actually, you know what? Let's focus on the forwards here. Because goaltending, we pretty much already know Vasi's going to start. The big question is whether or not we go with Robertson or who else. The question of who do we play, but also where do we play? Is the easy decision just to bump up Elijah Lackey? Probably. We could play Robertson. Again, he is fairly well-rounded. And in 4 games, had 2 points. That's not god-awful. In the AHL, though, we had Kirill Datsuk, who, again, still a decent option, had a pretty good season. Then there's Jeremy Dykhouse, who could get the call-up. He has gone from a depth option to a fourth-line role, so it could be worth giving him an opportunity on this team, maybe even on the second line. I'm not totally against that. Derek Steos with 44 points on the season. Of course, he has some NHL experience. Someone like Bykov, Nilstorp, Novikov probably won't get the bump up. But 2 out of 3 had very impressive point totals as the Wolves are still fighting for a playoff spot. So let me know what you think. Who gets the call-up? What are the line combinations for the postseason start? And amongst the defensemen, Provorov had a great season. The big question with him, though, what does he do in the playoffs? He has been capable of those big seasons, but what can he do for us in the postseason? That is the question. But 60 points and a plus 60. The memes are out of control. His line mate, Rositas, only 15 points, but that's fine. 58 penalty minutes, a plus 61. Craziness from Lubomir Rositas, who has been playing in the NHL since he was an 18-year-old at this point. It's just stupid. Vyacheslav Bobrovsky also with a phenomenal season. 55 points this year. That's what you get for being on the top power play unit, I suppose. Actually, I don't even remember if he was. I think he was, but still, 55 points up from the 40 he had in his rookie season. Taylor Gertzen as well, a playoff hero. New career high, 33 points with 16 goals. I'll take it. I will take it. That third pairing, Norton with 10 points, a plus 19, and Hatanen, 18 points, a plus 30. Of course, there was that debate of him or Lindgren. Lindgren had a great season in the AHL, but I feel like we made the right choice. So that sets the stage for the postseason. I am still going to look around the league, but that sets the stage for the postseason. Let me know what you think we should do, especially now that we know that unfortunately Russell Clausen is going to be out, but this team is good enough, is deep enough to overcome losing our best player for a first-round matchup. I'm confident of that. I think we can get the job done. 3 100-point getters. That is insane. Let's look around the league, shall we? We had the top 3. McKinnon was the only other player to hit 100 points on the season. You had someone like Puninoffs, Ackers, or Kackers. I mean, there are familiar faces here. Ovi still put up 56 goals at 41 years old. That is just stupid. Oh, that's the best kind of stupid. Tate Dwyer, 77 points in Montreal. I miss him already. I do. I miss him already. But look at what we did without him. I don't know, man. Having him on that second line, I like Fotinos, but having him on that second line could be worth it. It could be. I don't think we'd have the assets to get him back, even if we wanted to. If there is, if there isn't anybody that I managed to spot here towards the top half of the list, let me know. And in terms of rookie skaters, Nicholas Ottoson in Arizona is going to win the Calder. That does it for this marathon of an episode, and an absolutely ridiculous season. Arguably the best season we have ever had in any series in the history of this channel. In the first round, we take on the St. Louis Blues, but without Russell Clausen, is there a weakness that the Blues can exploit? We'll find out. Thank you for watching. You know the deal. Support the video. Give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. Click the bell. All that stuff. Check out everything in the description if you haven't done already. And until next time, have a good one. I'll see you then. My God, what a season.